Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Some massive news for the USC fans as the number one quarterback in the 2026 class, the number one player in the country, Julian Lewis, commits to Lincoln Riley in the USC Trojans. We kind of been saying this. Lincoln Riley, from a recruiting standpoint for quarterbacks, just has his options, and he gets one of the most talented quarterbacks we've seen come out of the high school level. To put it in perspective, Julian Lewis plays at the highest classification of Georgia high school football, and as a true freshman, led his team to a state title game, throwing for 4,000 yards, 48 touchdowns, and a 65% completion percentage as a freshman in high school. And on top of that, you talk about being a gamer. In the state finals game, threw for 531 yards. Julian Lewis, one of the most talented quarterbacks we've seen rise up the high school ranks, and he's heading to Lincoln Riley and USC. And again, Lincoln Riley just doing what he does in terms of getting quarterback talent and then developing quarterback talent. Going to break down Julian Lewis's film, get into what is going on with this USC program. Before we do, though, again, just want to say thank you to you guys and especially the USC fans. We've talked a ton of USC football, a team I'm really high on in the 2023 season, a team that's getting it done on the recruiting trail. And the USC fans, you guys have shown a ton of love. All the fight-ons in the comment section. Really can't thank you guys enough for supporting the boys like you guys have. So if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Really do appreciate all of y'all rocking with the boys. And let's get into Julian Lewis. And what I love the most is, again, you're seeing Lincoln Riley. One, I mean, he dominates recruiting quarterbacks. We all know that. But he's going to SEC territory again. I mean, the top school is Bama, Georgia. Julian Lewis ends up taking his talents to USC. This is not the first time we've seen Lincoln Riley go into SEC territory. And in this instance, take the crown jewel of the 2026 class. And I know this is far away, but Lincoln Riley's not going anywhere at USC. And you take a look at the quarterback room that they will have. They obviously have Caleb Williams, the first-round pick in the 2024 draft, probably right now. You have Malachi Nelson waiting in the rings. You have Miller Moss waiting in the wings. Now you got the number one quarterback, Julian Lewis, who, again, one of the most decorated prospects we've seen from the high school level. I watched him last weekend play Aaron Noland and Langston Hughes. Again, as a sophomore in high school, it's hard to imagine how polished and how far along he is as a quarterback than what you saw on Friday night going toe-to-toe with the Ohio State commit. This is a massive get. I want to go and take a look at what Julian Lewis brings to the table as a freshman in high school at Carrollton, Georgia, because he is just so impressive. And the arm talent's there, even as a true freshman, but how polished he is. I mean, extending play, keeping his eyes get down the field, and then throwing an absolute dot to the corner of the end zone. Like, you don't see that. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks play as true freshmen at this level. You don't see a lot of this, though. This is truly special. You go back and watch this play. I mean, he's a guy that steps up into the pocket, throws, to a window that's not really open yet, and then puts it right on his receiver's chest. It's Julian Lewis, in terms of a progression standpoint, is kind of at a next level, throwing on the run, an absolute dot. The arm talent's there, but I think more importantly, you're seeing a quarterback that's just all-time polished. I mean, the ball gets out quickly, it gets out on time, and again, he's going up against some of the top teams in the state of Georgia, and he's one of the best players in that state as a true freshman. Steps up into the pocket, again, keeps his eyes downfield, can extend plays, throws from multiple different arm angles. There's not much to dislike about Julian Lewis and how he can progress. Get it done with his legs as well. This guy is really fun to watch, and I can't wait to watch him with this Lincoln Riley offense. I want to pause it real quick and kind of talk about what this means for USC. We'll keep watching a little bit because, again, this is a guy that's just putting on a show as a true freshman. When you can get a quarterback locked up in a class like 2026, that only helps your recruiting. I mean, it's the best start imaginable for building a 2026 class. And as you go to the Big Ten, you're recruiting the whole entire country. I mean, you're going to have five-star wide receivers. If they weren't already lined up to play in a Lincoln Riley offense, they're going to be when they know five-star quarterback Julian Lewis in the 2026 class is committed. Wide receivers want to know that they're going to go and play in an offense that is going to be explosive. You know Lincoln Riley's offense is going to be explosive. Then they want to know who's throwing them the football. You have a guy like Malachi Nelson in the 2023 class. I mean, Miller Moss, I think, still might play for USC at some point in his career. Now you have Julian Lewis. I wonder if they're going to take a transfer and just not take a quarterback. They're not going to take one in 2024. Sounds like maybe they won't take one in 2025 and maybe go to the portal. At the end of the day, I don't really have any questions about Lincoln Riley getting a loaded quarterback room, but Julian Lewis certainly kind of solidifying the future plans for the Trojans at the quarterback spot. Continuing to watch the film again, I've already watched him a couple times, throwing on the run, sets his feet, and just has the arm as a true freshman in high school to make any throw that you want. The ball placement is absolutely perfect, pushing the ball down to the deeper third, hits his wide receiver in absolute stride. I mean, he has a massive arm to make any throw, but the accuracy, the composure, keeping his eyes down the field, throwing where only his wide receivers can get it. This is a guy that you have to be so excited if you're USC in terms of the future of this quarterback room with Julian Lewis locked up. Sets his feet, throws to the back of the end zone, an absolute dot again. I mean, wide receivers are getting this ball is getting airmailed to them, or right into their hands. Sets his feet, works the middle works the middle of the field at a high level, pushing the ball down. This is a massive get for USC. Again, I want to keep it short. Two things that I want to note on Julian Lewis to close it out. One, when you have a quarterback, you want to have a gamer. You want to have a winner. He's a 14-1 quarterback at the highest level of Georgia high school football. He's a winner. He threw for 531 yards in the state finals. He's a gamer, and he's a guy that in terms of the arm talent, it's there as well. So when you got a winner and you got a gamer and you got a guy with all the talent in the world, kind of sounds like Caleb Williams, you're going to be set at the quarterback position. 2026 off to a massive start for the USC fans. Again, appreciate the USC fans for rocking with the boys again. You guys have shown a ton of support. Can't thank you guys enough. So again, if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.